we love you guys. We trust you, you work well with us, and we have a really good time working together. So my name's Ron Needham. I lead North American sales and marketing for a large multinational called Manpower Group. We're a global talent agency. We do everything from staffing to business process outsourcing for our clients. And those include things like running major factories or running large gaming testing facilities for all the names that you would know. So some of the more interesting transformational cases piggybacked on one another for us using UiPath, right? We started out in a very traditional way, most likely, looking at rote operations and finance things that you could automate that were what some people would consider mundane tasks. So that was all about efficiency gain and lowering costs, and it worked very, very well. So then we started getting creative. So my leader of marketing, for example, said, hey, I wonder if we could do something that makes us more accessible to our clients, makes us interact with them more quickly. So we started putting bots in place through our lead generation process. Super important, because as you know, responding to a client quickly demonstrates that you're committed to them. So those bots have worked very well. We're now in a new phase of our journey. I'm really excited about it, although it's early days. And we're using it with our recruiters with the same idea, right? So recruiters have lots of jobs coming in on the left. They have lots of candidates on the right, and the time it takes to match those folks and find a great job can be a little cumbersome, a little slow. And so we're using robots there. It's been wildly effective in a pilot phase where we find we're saving hundreds of hours of the recruiter's time, but more importantly, they get to focus on what they love. They've told us they love to make the phone call and say, you got the job. That's the most exciting thing in their role and what they love. And so us moving this and helping them do more of that keeps them more engaged with us, so we have happy employees, so we're pretty excited about that. So we've had a few really interesting outcomes where people got excited by using UiPath in our business. One is on the sales side of the house, where we had people that are newer in career that are picking up the phone and speaking with prospects, those types of things, where you can get frustrated because you're not getting the reaction you would hope. You're getting a lot of rejection. We imported bots, used bots in a way that allowed them to be more successful. So they were excited because when they returned a call from somebody interested in working with our business, they got to the outcome that they wanted much more quickly, which was an engaging conversation with a potential client. Love that. The second thing we've done is with our recruiter side of the house, where we've tried to minimize all the friction points and the slow, less interesting parts of their job that we've automated, which is just matching candidates to jobs, and allowed them to focus in on picking up the phone and saying you got the job. And the great thing about that is that was not our expected outcome. We actually were looking at efficiency gains when we started deploying it that way, and they came to us and said, I really love this more. So we're excited about that. There are a lot of things that keep me working at UiPath, but I think it goes back to the beginning of our journey. Prior to this, I was in the tech sector, and that's an industry where people get to know one another very well, and you know the people you have a lot of respect for, the people that are really thoughtful in their business. And of course, occasionally you meet a couple of folks that are less so. A lot of folks I know have come to UiPath from companies like Dun & Bradstreet, and they were the original data lake company. People think of them as something else, but they really understood data and modeling. So a lot of folks I respected are working here from Dun & Bradstreet. A lot of folks I respect are working here from other big names like Salesforce and SAP. And they're all the best and the brightest of the folks I worked with. So I knew something interesting was going on here. And I reached out, and I wanted to understand, just as a peer, what was going on, what was the value, how are customers engaged, and that just led to this amazing relationship where we trust one another. I know they're only going to suggest things that make sense for my business, and they also give me some new ideas, which is always helpful. When we began looking at automation and how to deploy UiPath, we started in what some people might suggest is a very traditional approach. We looked at our finance arm. We're a 70-year-old business. Right, so we do things sort of the old-fashioned way sometimes, right? And we haven't embraced technology the way we need to. So we started there because we knew we could find hard ROI or not, and we would understand the true value and how quickly we could elevate this thing in the eyes of our own business and the different disciplines. That went extremely well for us, and so then we just started getting creative and talking about different ways to deploy bots that perhaps others hadn't. So we reached out to all of our business units, marketing, sales, recruiting, you name it, And every single business discipline said, I have something that would be much more interesting, even things you might consider trite to lead to employee engagement. Here's a simple one. We have 600,000 people that go to work every day. That's 600,000 birthdays, that's 600,000 anniversaries. And we want to let them know we appreciate them and we thank them. And we deployed bots just to let us know a day in advance that somebody's birthday is tomorrow. And that may feel like kind of a trite thing. It really isn't. It's about employee engagement and making sure they know we recognize their value. So we've done everything from finance to save some money, to sales, to marketing, recruiting, to these other things that just drive engagement. I think some of the most exciting use cases for UiPath, where we deploy it, is in sales and marketing, because it's just getting us closer to our clients and we're getting there more quickly, because the bots are letting us know that somebody has a really important need, they really need to speak with us, and we can prioritize that in an automated way and make sure that we get to that individual first. That's led to better client engagement. It's led to better employee engagement because they're happier that they're dealing with clients in a good situation. So for me, that's transformational to our business, because everything else are building blocks after that. So now that we've done this in a number of areas, we're having a lot of discussion about where we're going to expand next with UiPath. And the interesting thing is, as word's gotten out across the globe, more people are now coming to us with ideas, asking us how we can deploy this in different ways and in different business units. And that's everything from our people and culture group, traditionally known as HR, to more deployment in our global finance organization. And then, of course, our global peers in sales and marketing are seeing the value as well. Yeah, so the closing remark I have is, frankly, we love you guys. We trust you, you work well with us, and we have a really good time working together.